Okay, good morning. We're here with Vikram Dutt, Vice President, Building Design Strategy with Autodesk. Vikram, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Dave. Good morning. Great to be here.
Spacemaker acquisition. This happened last November. It's sort of a big deal in the generative design community. Can you kind of update the audience on what Spacemaker is as a firm, why Autodesk as a company was targeting Spacemaker, and what it means? You guys sort of put it out there in the release as it gives architects and developers automation superpower. Can you explain some of the thinking behind that move?
Yeah, sure, Dave. I mean, this is something I've been working on for over a year, so really something near and dear to my heart. I like to call of Spacemaker as really bringing that automation superpower, as you said, to us. It's put simply it's an intelligent design platform, right? That enables they're focused initially on the developer market, right? But the idea here is that it'll expand to other segments of the market, other building types. They focus on multifamily, residential, and some commercial right now, and it's all about providing our users an easy way to assess designs, look through different design options, and using artificial intelligence to evaluate the best option, right? So if you want to do things like, hey, here's this parcel of land, is this the best fit? How many square feet of apartments can I build here? How many number of apartments? By the way, I want to be able to look into the impact of noise, wind. I want X percentage of my apartments to have, views of the ocean, right? Spacemaker essentially lets you do that. And our goal here is to obviously, serve this new market, right? That's exciting. But more importantly, it becomes the basis for us as to how we, move to the future, right? And how we provide this intelligent platform to our entire user base.
Can you kind of explain how Spacemaker works, the black box?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try. By the way, one of the exciting things about the Spacemaker team is, we are joined by 100+ really talented software engineers, AI, machine learning experts, right? So it's a super smart team. So really excited to have them. So the way it works is, it's all web-based, right? So you go in, right? You type in an address, right? It automatically pulls in all the relevant information, So say it's, a place in Chicago, right? Downtown Chicago, right? You can pick the parcel of land. It'll show you the parcel of land in proximity to the rest of the area. You can see a 3D model of it. You can connect to local data sources. So you can get information about, noise, obviously, it can pull in information about sunlight and, density information and so forth. And essentially you put in a few design criteria. Hey, I want to, add maybe 8 floors, right? And it'll come up with a few options. And then you can continuously refine based on your design criteria, right? So you are always in control. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of, I call it like, there's AI on your shoulder, right? Kind of guiding you to the best design outcome you intend, right?
So I can see why developers are drawn to this, because it's kind of a feasibility study. It could improve that part of the business, as well as just trying to figure out, hey, I have a plot of land. What's the best use for this piece of land, based on many different variables? Quite interesting.
Yeah, that's right. So at least in this use case, what you're seeing is developers saying, hey, should I buy this parcel of land, right? So that's the first case. And then once I made that decision, right, which they have to do in competitive situations, they have to do it, and they kind of do it without any intelligence. So they do that, and then what's the best way to develop it? And that's when architects start to get involved.
Vikram, I wonder if you could talk about Spacemaker's actual any case studies, projects they've helped developer teams on. Do you have a few specific examples with maybe some return on investment to really show the power of the technology?
Yeah, sure. Happy to, Dave. So, there's a few examples I want to share. So there was a large Nordic developer that was able to increase density by 16%, while improving the number of apartments with a sea view by 33%, which could be worth more than 8 million euros. Right? So that was one example. A large architecture firm was able to improve productivity by up to 50% in the early phase development projects. And then, there was a large construction firm that increased density on a site by about 4%, which added an extra 900 square meters, amounting to about 5 million euros. Mm-hmm. So pretty compelling ROI examples here.
Yeah, for sure. And I wonder if we could transition into generative design overall, and how you, obviously this is kind of like the primo level, right? Spacemaker is doing stuff that very few firms are doing right now. And it's a very cool acquisition, and it looks like a great move by Autodesk. But what about sort of the day-to-day, we call it bread and butter, but we've been writing about generative design for at least 8 years now, and a lot of it's been conceptual, some prototype cases. I'm wondering, are you seeing more just the AEC firms that we all know and write about, are they using these tools in the US, and what are some of the applications you're seeing, Vikram?
Yeah, sure, Dave. I mean, this is you're right. It's been sort of really early phase concept, but I'm seeing more and more examples of generative design becoming more mainstream. One of the things we've been focused on is ensuring democratization of generative design. So we added generative design as part of the AEC collection, right? That's how you get Revit. And we included this capability, right out of the box. So, we're including, what I would call as recipes. So if you want to do space planning, right, or optimization for how do you do layout within a educational institution or healthcare facility, there are these recipes out of the box that let any user really customize them to their specific need.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. So pretty much all Revit users or subscribers, if they have the right package, they're going to have access to these generative design tools right in that software suite, which is really cool. And I wonder if you could get into maybe some of the obstacles that you're seeing as these firms, and pain points for firms as they start to apply the tools on actual projects, or just sort of culturally as a design firm. What are you hearing from the design firms, your clients?
One of the biggest obstacles to generative design has been, hey, I can do it, but I need to have, programming skills. I need to know some amount of coding, right? Whether I'm using Dynamo or, Rhino or, any other tool out there. So what we've been focused on removing is sort of that obstacle, right? So I mentioned previously, we are delivering these out of the box recipes. And the idea is, you create a few templates. So we include like a half a dozen to dozen, and we added a few more, mid-year, in as part of our COVID response efforts to help our customers. So any user can essentially, customize these to their specific need, right? So you don't necessarily require coding skills. So that's one. I feel we're definitely removing the barrier there. The other piece which we've heard is, hey, tools like generative design are going to eliminate my job, right? And I think that's, nothing could be farther from the truth, right? It's the way I see generative design is really a tool to take away the tedious, boring things you have to do, and lets you focus on the exciting work as to why you became an architect in the first place.
Thanks again for your time, Vikram.
Thanks, Dave. It was a pleasure to be here. Take care.